The reality of money is that it is simply a tool we use to exchange goods and services. For example, you can use money to buy groceries, pay rent, or purchase a car. At its core, money is a medium of exchange that allows us to trade what we have for what we need. For instance, if you have money and you want to buy a new phone, you can trade that money for the phone. But while money may seem like a simple concept, it is also a powerful force that shapes our economy and our society. For example, money is used to measure the economic performance of a country, the GDP, gross domestic product, for instance. One of the most important things to understand about money is that it is not an end in itself. Money is not something we should strive to acquire for its own sake. Instead, money is a means to an end. It is a way for us to acquire the goods and services we need to live and thrive. For instance, you may use your money to buy a house, but the house is not the end goal. The end goal is to have a roof over your head and a place to call home. This is why we often hear the phrase, money can't buy happiness. While it's true that money can't buy happiness, it can certainly buy the things that make life more comfortable and enjoyable. For example, you can use money to buy a comfortable bed, a good meal, or a vacation. But the key is to understand that money is not a substitute for happiness. It is simply a tool that can help us achieve our goals and aspirations. Another important thing to understand about money is that it is not a fixed quantity. Money is not like a limited resource that we must compete for, like oil or gold. Instead, money is created and destroyed every day as goods and services are exchanged. This is why we often hear the phrase, money is created out of thin air. It's not that money is literally created out of nothing, but rather that it is created and destroyed as it is exchanged in the economy. For instance, when a person buys a product, they give money to the seller and the seller gives the product to the buyer. This exchange creates money for the seller and destroys money for the buyer. This is why economic growth is so important. When the economy is growing, more goods and services are being produced and more money is being created. This means that there is more money to go around, which can lead to higher wages, lower unemployment, and more opportunities for everyone. For example, when there are more jobs available, more people have money to buy goods and services, which creates more demand. This creates more jobs, and as the cycle goes on, the economy grows. But it's also important to remember that money is not the only thing that matters in life. There are many other things that are just as important, if not more important, than money. Things like family, friends, health, and happiness. For instance, you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have good health, you won't be able to enjoy it, or if you don't have a good relationship with your family, you won't be happy. Money is a powerful tool that can help us achieve our goals and aspirations. But it's important to remember that money is not an end in itself. It is simply a means to an end. And the most important thing is to use our money wisely, to use it to acquire the goods and services we need to live and thrive. And most importantly, not to let money become the main driver of our lives, but rather to balance it with other important aspects of life. In conclusion, money is a tool that we use to exchange goods and services. It is a medium of exchange that allows us to trade what we have for what we need. It is important to understand that money is not an end in itself, it is a means to an end, to acquire the goods and services we need to live and thrive. Money is not a fixed quantity, it is created and destroyed every day as goods and services are exchanged, and economic growth is important as it creates more money and more opportunities for everyone. But it's also important to remember that money is not the only thing that matters in life. Family, friends, health, and happiness are just as important, if not more important, than money. Therefore, it's important to use money wisely, and not to let it become the main driver of our lives, but rather to balance it with other important aspects of life.